Welcome to DreamWorks Theory, the YouTube channel, because that's what we basically are at this point. But I've personally been all DreamWorked out, and Kung Fu Panda 4 is a movie that, for the most part, follows suit with what we know so far of the DreamWorks Theory, so this honestly should be a quick continuation of the DreamWorks Theory. So welcome to Big Flick Energy, and let's get right into it. So for starters, I know I said this film follows suit with the DreamWorks Theory, but it almost didn't at all. It was recently reported Kung Fu Panda 4 was at some point considered to be made into a live-action hybrid film where Po would actually meet humans. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you know this would absolutely tear my videos to shreds, given the animal-human war I talk so much about. And honestly, I think it's a horrible idea, so I'm very happy they didn't do that. But speaking about that animal-human war, let's talk about how this film actually impacts the DreamWorks Theory, through how magic played a role in the war. We've established this war was between not just animals and humans, but actually magical creatures versus humans, because these animals that could talk were considered magical creatures. This makes one wonder though, what happened to the other types of magical creatures outside of them talking animals? We know most went extinct because of King Arthur, but the reason animals are so prevalent still is because they could hide in plain sight, unlike the trolls or the dragons that had to go into hiding, or other monsters like ogres that we believe to have gone extinct. But still, what happened to magic? We know Kung Fu has had magical properties, but this film actually reintroduces us to sorcery as an alternative to learning Kung Fu through the villain, the chameleon. So she now joins a group of characters in DreamWorks, including Merlin, Artevius, and others, showing that magic was most likely a major tool in defeating the humans in the Great War. Now, I know this show didn't come out at the same time of Kung Fu Panda 4, but I've never actually mentioned how Kung Fu Panda the Dragon Knight has been playing into the DreamWorks Theory really. And on this end, it also shows sorcerers, but it also brings back an important type of magical creature we saw last in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the sleeping rock giant. Now, the design is different, but it also shows that creatures like this, similar to the animals, have been able to survive through blending into their environment, through this character that we see in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Kung Fu Panda the Dragon Knight. Now, one thing that I will say about Kung Fu Panda the Dragon Knight is, in a lot of ways, it feels like a non-canon series to this world, but honestly, I look at it more as though Kung Fu Panda 4 had a major time jump that we don't know about, and this period where we have Kung Fu Panda the Paws of Destiny, the Dragon Knight, and now this movie, there's a massive time jump there. Which is why at the beginning of the film, they discuss where the Furious Five are, which is something that we didn't know in Paws of Destiny and we didn't know in the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight, it feels like it plays no role in this, but honestly, once you look at the fact that Po's actual dad, Lee, took over the noodle shop and was helping out Po's goose dad, and we see Po's goose dad in the Dragon Knight, and he's actually on this journey with Po and his team, it starts to make sense that maybe it was actually Po's dad that told Po's other dad to take control of the noodle shop while he was out helping Po in the Dragon Knight. Which is why now in the fourth movie, they're both running the noodle shop. At least that's the way that I see it. I think that could be an explanation for why they're both running it now, where his actual dad was in that show because he was there in Paws of Destiny, but not in the Dragon Knight. But for the most part, it does feel like a non-canon series. I'm just trying to see any way that it can fit. And I feel like for the time being, you can make this argument that this is how it fits. For the most part though, this film and this show continue to show us how these magical creatures have been able to survive generations and have kept magic alive, unlike the humans, which is most likely why the Guardians from Rise of the Guardians did take their side on the war, as I mentioned in my first video. Now, we haven't reached a point in these films where humans are completely disconnected from magic. We haven't seen a film that's specifically stating that, but Orion and the Dark was close, and depending on how the upcoming DreamWorks film Wild Robot turns out, it could either show how far humans have become disconnected from the natural world, or it could end up being the first or second film in this world. But in honor of Matt Pat's retirement from YouTube, he was a huge inspiration to me. I'm just gonna say it, but hey, that's just a theory, a DreamWorks theory. And don't cut yet, because this film is chronologically the last in the timeline. Thanks for watching, comment down below your thoughts, and see you next time on Big Flick Energy. And now,